Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I'm going to do the bunny, and it's going to be a little bit different. I'm doing the ears slightly different. I'm also doing the nose slightly different. I wasn't really overly happy with the way the nose turned out, but this is what we're doing, our little Easter bunny with the little carrot. Okay, and you are going to need a lot of white bands. I mean, you can see how big this thing is. He is quite enormous, really. That's my two hands, and I've got big hands. So this is what we're going to make. I would say have at least 3 packets, probably 4 packets of white bands available to you, and then you're going to need a few pink bands for the inside of the ears and also for the tip of the nose. You're going to need a couple of orange and green for the carrot. Let's get started. It's going to be quite repetitive, and it will definitely show you how you can make things bigger and smaller, you know, with increases and decreases, so be prepared for that. We're going to start by doing his body, and we're going to make the body with a magic ring, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 bands for the magic ring. And we're going to start with another band that we will take and twist around this peg twice. If you don't need to make a magic ring using a loom peg, that's absolutely fine. Do it on your hook. I do it using a peg so that I can show people exactly what I'm doing, and I find it a little easier to demonstrate. If you don't need to do that, perfect, fabulous, great, let's not. Alright, so push your hook down, and we start by doing our magic ring. I am going to say, if you haven't done or watched my Loomigurumi guide for beginners, you need to. This is going to be quite a long, involved project, and it will be utter gibberish to you if you haven't watched that first. So please have a look. I do have a playlist called Tips and Tricks for Loomigurumi, and have a look at that and see if there's some things there that will help you. So we start with our magic ring. And again, I'm not going to slowly go through this. This video is going to be huge as it is. I'm going to make the assumption that you have done this sort of thing before, or that you have taken it upon yourself to at least look at my video for beginners. So there's our magic ring for 6 bands. What we're going to do now is increase the amount of stitches we have, and you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 is on our hook. We're going to increase that to 12. So in every stitch we're going to do 2. The other thing you're going to need is a stitch marker. You can use a C-clip or an S-clip if you don't have these little stitch markers, but if you are really getting into Loomigurumi, I cannot recommend these highly enough. They are very helpful. Take your first band, and we'll do our first single crochet, and we will put our stitch marker on that. As I said, we're increasing it, so that means we do 2 single crochets in every stitch. That's 2 in the first stitch. Let's do 2 in the second stitch. 1 and 2. 2 in the third stitch. Now this will be a perfect video to show you how you can make something bigger. So if you see something that's small and you want to make it bigger, this is a perfect example of how to do that. One and 2, and here's our last stitch. 1 and 2. We're back to the beginning. Here's our beginning with our stitch marker, and if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, number 12 is on our hook where it should be. Push your hook through that first stitch, and we'll do another single crochet, and we'll move our stitch marker. Alright, we're now going to increase this to 18 stitches, and to do that we're going to be doing a single crochet, which we just did, followed by an increase. Now this is how you make things bigger. You do a single crochet followed by an increase. Then in the next round you do 2 single crochets followed by an increase. In the round after that, 3 single crochets followed by an increase. And that's how you get the base bigger before you start coming up with your rounds of single crochet. So we did our single crochet, let's do an increase. 1 and 2. And then we go back into the 3rd stitch for a single crochet, and in the 4th stitch we do an increase. If it helps you to put out your little bands so that you remember what you're on, that's fine, you can do that. I just usually have a pile of them sitting next to me and I just take from there, but if it helps you to do this, superb. So we'll do our increase followed by a single and an increase and a single and an increase and a single and an increase and a single and an increase. So we now have 18 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 is on our hook. Go through your first stitch, single crochet, move your stitch marker, and we just did single crochet followed by an increase. We're now doing 2 single crochets followed by an increase. Again, you can put your little bands out if you need to, if it makes life easier. So there's our first single crochet. Let's do our second single crochet followed by an increase. And you will end up at the end of this with 24 stitches. And let's count, make sure that I'm not going wrong here. 2, 1, 2, so yep, 2 in here. Make sure you go through both the little loops. And end on our increase. So let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 and 24 is on our hook. We're now going to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase. Push your hook through the first, pull it through, move your stitch marker, and that was our first one. So now we do 2, 3 and increase. 1, 2, 3, and increase. 1, 2, 3, and increase. 1, 2, 3, and increase. And we finish on an increase. And this will give us 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and there's 30 on our hook. Now we're going to increase to 4 single crochets and an increase. Push through your first stitch, that's number 1, and move your stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, and now we do an increase. And an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we finish on an increase. Count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 is on my hook. Alright, push through. Move your stitch marker. So with this round we're going to do 5 single crochets followed by an increase. So we've done 1 is on our hook already. 2, 3, 4, oops, broken band, let's get rid of that. 5, now we do our increase, which is the 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And repeat that until you get to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. I'm sorry for the buzzing in the background. If you can hear that static noise in the background, it's my heater. My hands are freezing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5, and we finish on an increase. Like so. Now at the end of this you should have 42 stitches. Let's count. 1 with our stitch marker, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42 is on our hook. So that's correct. Now, once you've done that, pop a little, well, you can go through and do your first single crochet for your next round. So this is round, the next round here, and move your stitch marker. Okay, now you're going to make another one of these exactly the same. Alright, so I have 2 exactly the same. One of them is going to be for the head, one of them is going to be for the body. So pause your video and make another one, and then when you have done that, alright, you're going to put one to one side, alright, and we'll say that that is the head. We're going to work on the body. So put your hook back through, and I hope you've got stitch markers or your C-clips to mark these off, because you need to be holding that. So for the body, it's going to be bigger than the head, so we need to do another round for this one, and we're going to do 6 single crochets and an increase. So that was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. And again. One. Oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. And an increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. And this will give you 48 stitches. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47 and 48 is on my hook. As you can see now, they're different sizes. Okay, so this is going to be the head, this is going to be the body. So for the body, we've now done 6 single crochets followed by an increase. We now are going to be doing single crochets all the way around. Okay, so we'll move our stitch marker, we'll do our first stitch. Here's first stitch, move your stitch marker, and we are going to do single crochets, and we're going to do 7 rounds of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a broken band, 5, 6 and 7. Well, I've just started my 7th. So we're going to go around. This is to count how many stitches, how many rounds I have left. I just kind of do that rather than writing down and having to drop my hook and pick up a pencil and whatnot. So let's move my camera a bit so you can see. There we go. So we're doing single crochets, and as I said, we have 7 rounds to do. All you're doing is single crochets all the way around, no increases. So you're going to stay at 48 stitches for the next 7 rounds. Alright, now I'm not going to do 7 rounds with you because you'll be bored brainless. So we'll do the first one all the way around till you get to the end. Alright, so you just keep going around like that until you get to the end, and then you keep going again and again, and you'll do 6 more rounds after this one. I'm going to put those little bands there because I will finish this off. I'm going to get a little clip so that I know where I'm at, and you're going to keep going. So pause this video. When you're done, you will have something that looks like this. Okay, so that's had 7 rounds. Alright, you've still got your head here. If you want, we can do the head bit as well. What you're going to do now for the head, okay, is you're going to do single crochets all the way around, no increases, 5 rounds. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 bands to indicate your 5 rounds, and you will end up with this. Again, you can see the different sizes. This one fits quite nicely in here. Alright, so that's how you're going to end up. Okay, so you're going to do 7 rounds of single crochet, 5 rounds of single crochet. Now, the thing to remember, when you start your decreases, you want to do the same for a ball anyway. You want to do the same decreases that you did increases. So for this one, we did 6 single crochets followed by an increase. So to decrease with this one, we're going to start with 6 single crochets followed by a decrease, and then the next round will be 5 single crochets followed by a decrease. For this one, we only went up to 5 single crochets and a decrease, increase. So for this one, we started 5 single crochets and a decrease. So you marry up, you know, how many single crochets you did before you increased, and you do the same for a decrease. So let's pick one. Well, we're going to do both of them anyway because I'm going to do them with you. So what we're going to do, put your hook through, and we're going to count. We've obviously got the first stitch there, so we've got to do 6. So this will be number 2. 3, 4, 5, and do our 6th stitch. There's 6, and now we do a decrease. Go through your stitch and then through the next stitch, and you're going to be decreasing these together like that. And now we count another 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's do a decrease. Alright, so this is how we're going to do it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease. Oops, one band only. And our last decrease. Now if you count how many stitches you got now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 and 42. So that has gone back to how many stitches we did when we had 5 single crochets and an increase. So now we're going to be doing 5 single crochets and a decrease, and that will take us down to 36 stitches. So let's do it again. Here's our first stitch here. Move our stitch marker once we've done our first stitch. These are a different stitch marker. These ones kind of lock into place. When you have larger projects, they're quite good. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we do our decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's do a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. And decrease. And a decrease. Okay, so now we're doing 4 single crochets and a decrease. Your first stitch, move your stitch marker. That was number 1. 2, whoopsie, get back here you. 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. Told you you're going to need quite a few white bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, and our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3, oops, let's try that one again, 4, and our final decrease for this round. Okay, so you should have, let's see, I think this is 36 or 34 stitches. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 stitches. Alright, now we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by a decrease, and we will end up with 24 stitches. So push your hook through. Let's do our first one. Move your stitch marker. So that was 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. 1. Oops. Let's try and catch that before it all unravels. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm being a fumble fingers today. Let's try that again. So that was our decrease. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, a decrease, 1, 2, 3, and a decrease, 1, 2, 3, here's our decrease, 1, and let's finish on a decrease, and we should have 24 stitches. Okay, we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 is on our hook. Okay, so this is the body, and I know it sort of looks a bit squat, but I didn't want it to be perfectly round because bodies aren't perfectly round. Right, so now we're going to do 2 single crochets and a decrease, and that will take us to 18 stitches. Alright, here's our first one through here. Get that stitch marker out the way, move it to that new first stitch. So that was 1, 2, and a decrease. One, two, and a decrease. One, two, and a decrease. Woo! Let's try and do that without ruining everything. Decrease. One, two, decrease. One, two, decrease. One, two, and our final stitch for this round, decrease. Now don't worry that you sort of it looks a bit misshapen. Once you've actually put the stuffing in, it starts to look a lot better, so don't be too upset. So back to the front here, push our hook through the first stitch. That's number one. We're now doing a single crochet followed by a decrease. But what I thought we might do before we do that is stuff. Now the other thing also, you're going to do the same that we've just done here with this one. You're going to start with 5 single crochets. I'll do one round with you. Okay, so put your hook in and you do 5 single crochets. Number one was on your hook already, so this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. So just like we did with the body, we're going to do the same with the head, but we start at 5, not 6, because we only went up to 5 single crochets in an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease. Alright, so pause the video. I want you to continue doing that until you have done your 2 single crochets and a decrease. So before you do your single crochet and a decrease, you're going to do your 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then we will stuff our little creations here. Alright, so now we've made the body and we've made the head. Before we stuff them, and as you can see, I've taken it down to I did my 2 single crochets and my decrease on both of these. So now what we're going to do is make the legs. Now I have made 1 of each and you are going to make 2 of each, and the way these are going to go, the back legs are going to sit either side here and here. Now this is the back here, okay, so the back legs sit facing one way here, and then the front little ones are going to fit like this. Alright, so we need to make another one of these each, and you're going to make 2. Let's get started. Again, I'm going to use my loom to do my magic ring. If you don't need a loom, fabulous, don't mind. Let's do a leg first. Magic ring with 6. And you're going to take your first band and wrap it around once and twice. So this is the leg that we're doing here, okay? Push your hook down for band number 1. band number 2. Three, 4, 5 and 6. Let's take that off our loom, spread these around evenly like so. Make sure you have a stitch marker ready or a C-clip, something that you can keep everything in check with. Push your hook through the first stitch and you're going to do a single crochet and put your stitch marker on that. Now if you're using, if you don't have these, as I said, C-clip, S-clip, that works perfectly. We're going to do an increase, so that's 2 single crochets in each of these to increase it from 6 stitches to 12 stitches. Two in this one. Two in this one. Oops, make sure I'm just through those 2 little loops. There we go. On my last stitch here, 2 in this one. 1 and 2. Go through my first stitch with a single crochet. My next round is going to increase the stitches to 18, and I'm going to do a single crochet, which I just did, followed by an increase. And single crochet and an increase. Single crochet and an increase. Single crochet, increase. Oops, both. And finish on an increase. You should have 18 stitches now. And we can check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 is on my hook. Now we're going to do 3 rounds of single crochet. Push your hook through the first, move your stitch marker, 3 rounds, just single crochet. So that's a single stitch in each of these. This is our first round. Start our second round. Remember, we're not doing any increases in these, so you should still be having 18 stitches. Start on our third round. Now we're in the last stitch of that round. What we're going to do now is 4 single crochets followed by a decrease. So here's our first stitch, counts as our first single crochet. Move your stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease to end. We do a round of single crochet, push your hook through that first stitch, move your stitch marker, and around we go. So that's 14 stitches. Now we're going to decrease again. You're going to count 3 single crochets and a decrease. So here's our first stitch. Move your stitch marker. That was 1. So this is 2, 3, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, and a decrease. One, 2, 3, finish on a decrease. You should have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 is on your hook. Now we're going to do 5 rounds of single crochet. So put your hook through and we do 5 rounds. Let's try not to unravel everything. It's our first stitch for round number 1. So round number 2, 3, 4 and 5. So around we go. Take one from here, so we have 3 more rounds to do after this one. Stretch it out just to give yourself a bit of room to work in. Last stitch for this round. Take one from this pile. Around we go again. Oopsie. Now we start our last round. Oops, salvage that quickly. So I'm at the end. I'm going to go through my first stitch, pull through both of them and tie a slip knot like that. Okay, so that is a foot to match this little foot here. Okay, we've got 2 of these like that. We're going to stuff those and we'll pop those on here in a minute. Let's do an arm before we do that. Get my loom, take your first band, wrap it once and twice. The arm is going to be 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. First band, second band, third band, fourth band and fifth band. Spread them out, go through that first stitch, single band, do your single crochet and move your stitch marker to that. We're doing an increase, so in all of these you're doing 2 single crochets to increase the diameter from 5 to 10 stitches. Okay, smooth it around. Now we're going to do a single crochet followed by an increase. So here is our single crochet. Let's move our stitch marker, followed by an increase. So now we're going to get 15 stitches in total. Single crochet, increase. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet and increase. We're now going to do 3 rounds of single crochet. First stitch, move your stitch marker. One, oh that's two, I'm sorry. 3. So that was the first round. Let's start our second round. Whoops. Throw your bands everywhere. Now you don't have to do this bunny as white. You can do it brown or any colour you want really. I chose white because I had a lot of white bands. And I don't have a lot of white bands now. Yep, you should still have 15. This is our third round. So this is the end of our third round. Let's go through our first stitch with a single crochet and move our stitch marker. Now we have to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. So that was number 1, 2, 3 and a decrease. One, 2, 3, and a decrease. 1, 2, 2, 3, and our last stitch here is a decrease. Back to the beginning. You should have, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 stitches. Now we're going to do 3 rounds of single crochet. So I already did my first one, so I'll move that there. 3 rounds. This is round number 2. This is 3. Back to the beginning, push your hook through, and we'll tie off in a slip knot, which I didn't do. Go through both stitches, there we go, like that. Take your stitch marker out. So there is our second little front paw, like that. Okay, so all we have to do now is another ear and a nose, and we're prepared. So to do the ears, we're going to start off with a single white band, wrap it once and twice. Now for this part we're going to work with 3s. So take 3 white bands, pop them on the end of your hook like this, and you're going to slide your little end cap here up and over and reclaim. Now we're going to create a chain. I'm going to zoom in because this could be a bit tricky. I'm going to create a chain in threes. So that was our first one. Another 3 bands. This is our second. And this isn't the tricky bit. This is our third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. Seven. 8. 9. 10. Alright, the reason we've done it in 3 is to give the ear a bit of strength. In my original one, I used pipe cleaners to help give them some shape, to make them stay up instead of flopping all over the place, and it was really quite tricky to thread the pipe cleaners through. This is not as tricky. Take 2 bands on the end of your hook, slide over, reclaim, one over the other as if you're doing a slip knot, but we're not doing it tightly. Okay, now this is the fun bit. Okay, we're going to take our hook. As you can see, if you look on the side here, you've got these little teardrops. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, and you've got 3 little loops either side. You've got 3 little loops this side and 3 little loops this side. Okay, I'm going to zoom in even further, make sure we're all. You're going to lift and capture 1 little loop this side and 1 little loop this side. It doesn't matter if it's the first loop, the second loop or the third loop, just 1 from each side. Take a single band, pull it through, reclaim, do your little slip knot, and then under that little bit there. Do the same for the next one. 1 band from the 3, 1 band from that side, 1 band from that side. Pull through, do your slip knot and join. Okay, so each of these we're doing 1 from each side. Oops, there we go. And that one's a bit twisted. I'm going to untwist it. There we go, that's better. I think it'll look better untwisted. 1 from that side, 1 from that side. One from that side, 1 from that side. Now I'm at the last, I was going to say pair, but they're 3. I'm on the last one here, so I'm going to go through as if I was doing 1 on each side. I'm doing 1 on each side. I'm going to do my first single crochet, and I've got the end cap here. I'm going to go through and do a second single crochet right next to that first one. I'm going to push the end cap close to my stitches, and I'm going to go the other side of it. So I've twisted this around, and I'm going to go through 1 loop this side, 1 loop this side, and I'm going to do a single crochet and another single crochet. So that top one has got 4 single crochets in it, plus the end cap is in there as well. Now we're going to go down further. We're going down the other side. Again, just getting 1 from each side, 1 little loop from each side, and then doing your single crochet. think I got 2 there. 2 or a very thick band? No, it was 2. Oops, there's 2. Let me just grab 1. I'm still grabbing 2. There we go. I'm at the beginning one here. Now, I'm going to take my hook out, pinch it, put it through the other way, like that. Turn it around, and I'm going through that first one here, right next, close to it. And I'm going to do single crochets all the way around again. So 1, and obviously I don't have to pick loops either side now because I've only got 2 little loops here. So I'm going all the way around. Again at the top we will do more than we need to because we have to make it round the curve. So if you have a look, we've got these 4 top stitches, 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're only going to worry about these top 3, the very, very top one and the 2 either side. So I'm going to do a single one here, and now I'm in this one at the top to the right. I'm going to do 2, 1 and 2. I'm going to do 1 in the center, 1, and then on this left hand side one here I'm going to do 2, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to do 1 all the way down again, 1 Now the ears obviously are where we're needing pink. I'm using quite a vibrant pink. I didn't intend to, but there we are. A psychedelic bunny. Here's my first stitch again. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, I want to go through this. I want these to come towards this center bit, this bit here. So I'm just going to take my hook and go through the thick part at the bottom here and draw through in a slip knot like that. And then on the other side I want to more or less do the same thing, but in order to do that I have to capture a band here, pull it through, and then go through the same sort of spot here with one side of my band. And I've probably gone the wrong way, so let's do it this way. Capture that. So I have 4 little loops on my hook. Make it so they're not twisted, that would be nice. So I have 4 little loops on my hook. I'm going to put a stitch marker on just to hold those because I need my hook to do the pink down the center. So I'm just holding these like that, and now down the center I'm going to poke my hook. Can you see here? This is the top part here. Alright, I'm going to poke my hook. There's 1, 2, 3. I've gone through 3 little bands at the top. So I'm using pink. I'm going to pull that pink one through like that. I'm going to turn it over so that the end is pointing away from me. Keeping one side on my hook, I'm going to go through, and I'm just again picking a couple of bands. You don't have to pick all of them. You can pick all of them if you want, but I'm just going to pick one either side. Put my hook back on and pull through. Again, I'm going to go through, I'm trying to go through the outside bands on this, the white ones. You have 3 little white ones, so I'm trying to go through the ones that are on the outside. Pull through. And the reason I've done it like this is, whoops, the reason I've done it like this as well is I didn't want the pink to show through on the outside of the white, because in real rabbits it doesn't. You've got fur on the outside and then the delicate soft pink bit is on the inside. So here you have white bands and then on the inside you have the pink. So that's why I do my bunny ears like this. Now we're at the bottom here. This is our last one. So rather than tying off with a pink band and making it look odd, I'm going to take a white band and pull a white band through this last one. All right. I'm going to hold on to it just like this, because basically what I want to do now is bring that white band through from under here. Hopefully you can see. So I'm poking my hook under that thick bit at the bottom, and I'm going to grab one end and pull through. I can actually pop that on my holding hook, it's right there. And then the other side I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go through a couple of bands here, grab the other side and pull through, and pop that on my holding hook as well. Now obviously I don't want to be attaching this with all 6 of these little loops on. I can reduce those down quite easily. Take one, find these other 2. So there's the 2 from the right hand side. I'll pull them through and over. So what I'm going to do, I have the one that I tied off the pink part, and we'll just put it up and over like that, and we'll do the same for the other side. I'm going to put the bit that I tied off with the pink one here. Here's my other 2 bands from the left hand side, up and over. So those have been sort of tied in, and I'm left with 4 loops, and that'll be fine to do to attach to the top of my bunny's head like that. And here I have the same here. Well, actually I don't. I had an extra band holding it all together, but there I have my 4 little loops here as well to tie in. So we need to do some stuffing, and we also, actually, let me put this stitch marker on those. You need 2 ears, by the way, so otherwise it's going to be a bit lopsided. Lopsy bunny instead of flopsy bunny. So put that there. Alright, we're going to stuff the head first, alright? I use 100% polyfill. And with the body we're going to put the legs on first and then stuff, but with the head we want to be able to position exactly where the nose and ears are going to go with a little bit more accuracy. So let's stuff the head first. put your hook back through. We're going to be doing, now we did 2 single crochets and an increase and a decrease, so we're going to do 1 single crochet and a decrease. So I believe that would have been our 1 single crochet. So we start with a decrease. So go through and through, and we'll do a decrease, followed by a single crochet. I'm going to zoom out a bit. I can see that I'm already too close for you to view. A single crochet, a decrease. I have to say I do tend to push the stuffing down when I'm doing my stitch, because otherwise it gets all tangled up in the actual stitch. Single crochet. Oh, look at that. Didn't link it. Single crochet, and now a decrease. Single crochet. Decrease. Single crochet. Decrease. Single crochet, and here's our decrease. Now I'm going to remove my stitch marker because all I'm doing now is decreasing. Alright, so push these in, and we're just going to do decrease after decrease until this opening gets so small we can just tie off. So decrease, decrease. Remember, the more you stretch the bands, the bigger the holes are. Decrease. It will relax, but it can look a bit odd. Or you can fling them everywhere. Decrease. Oops, more than a bargain for there. Decrease. Decrease. And I'm going to do one final decrease. So we'll tie off with a band going through all of them and tie off in a slip knot, and that can just be hidden inside. This part as it is going to be attached to the body, stitched onto the body. Now the other thing you want to do is kind of squidge it in so that it's sort of more this shape rather than flat and whatnot. So the ears are going to be positioned sort of yay and yay, alright, like that. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to put my hook through, and I'm going to put a band where I think it should be, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to go in the exact same spot on the other side, like this, so I can approximate where I want my ears to be. 2 bands are going down one side, 2 bands are going down the other side. Alright, so I'm going to take 2 bands and put only 2 bands on my stitch marker. Oh, fumble fingers strikes again. So here's the 2 bands that I'm going to use here. Alright, these 2. And what I have to do is I want to put my hook through where I want them to be and take my little marker band out. I'm going to grab those 2 bands on my hook and pull them through like so. Then I'm going to go, there's another piece of band here, but I'm going to go to the one next to it. Alright, I'm going to grab those other 2 bands that were for the ear and pull them through. Alright, so I have my 4 bands at the front. I'm going to take a single band and go through, pull tight in a slip knot. I'm going to come through the back here and pull that back like so. And I'm going to hide this tie off band, if I can talk, inside the head like that, and just gently ease it in so that you can't see it. If stuffing comes out, just stuff it back in. That's why it's stuffing. So this is my first ear. I'm going to do the same for the second ear. I'm going to take 2 off. And I'm going to swap my stitch marker. Let's put this stitch marker on here and I'll see what I'm doing. This is exactly where the other one was, so I'll put that at here, tie that through. I'm going to pull these 2 through like that. I'm going to put my stitch marker back on so I don't lose them. My second one, I've got to have a gap. So put my hook through here, grab my 2 little loops, pull through, reattach those other 2 so that I have 4 on my hook, single band, pull it through, tie off at the front like so, move through to the back here like this, and we're going to hide that under some of these bands here. There we go, hide that. So these are the ears, and they are going to flop. I mean, it's a bunny rabbit ears flop. You can bend them because they have the triple up the center. They are a little bit bendy. I actually had a better way of doing the nose, so I'm going to quickly show you that. Take a single band and wrap it once, twice and 3 times, and do the same with another band, once, twice, 3 times. We're going to slide these onto a pair of white. 1 and 2. Okay, now put those to one side. Well, let's make sure they're even. 1 second. Come here, you. Alright, so they're even. Put those to one side. Another single band, pink, once, twice, 3 times. And a second one, once, twice, 3 times. We're going to slide these on to a pair of pink. There's our first one, and here is our second one. Now, in the middle of these 2 pink wrapped bands, we're going to put 2, I'm going to reclaim that, we're going to put 2 single pink bands. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop it through here, through the center like that. Alright, and then I'm just going to put one over the other, like so, and I need to do another one next to it. Alright, so that I have 2 of these, and get rid of that bit of fluff that's there. Make sure when you do this that you do the knot for them the same way. So just poke that through here, there we go, and as I said, one piece through the other. It's fiddly doing it without a hook. You can use a hook if you've got one. So you've got these 2 little pink bands that are down like this. Alright, now we're going to put the white ends on our hook and slide our first pair of pink onto it. Take that off and swap sides and slide the other pair on there. Alright, so you have these two pink bands lying here and these two white bands here. You're going to approximate where you want the nose to be on your little guy. Alright, now the other thing that we need to do is we need to if you say that this is where we want his nose to be, okay, poke your hook through like this and you're pulling it from the outside in like that. Do the same on this side here as well. Approximate where you're going to be and pull it from the outside in, and you're going to join those bands together on the inside of his little face. I think I've grabbed a few too many bands on this side, so let me make sure. I want it to be even. I think maybe here, and we'll grab these two, pop them on the end of my hook and pull them in like that. Take a single white band and you're going to join these 4 little white loops up and tie a slip knot, one over the other, nice and tight. That can just get stuck inside here. Alright, you don't need to worry about that too much. Thread it through and just discreetly hide it. So now what we're going to do on the end of these little pink ones, take a white band and do a little slip knot. Okay, we're going to approximate where you want these little mouth parts to be. Okay, I'm going to do one here, so I'm going to go next to where I want to be and pull it through to the side, and I'm going to do the same here. Make sure that I'm at about the same level and pull it through like that. And then I'm going to pull one side of the white band, just one of the white bands, through to where the other white band is. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this fluff that's annoying me. I'm going to pull that through and I'm just going to tie those in a little knot. You can do a slip knot, you can just tie it in a knot, whatever is good for you. It's going to be stuffed inside the head. So tie it in a little knot and then come back through and drag those inside the head, those little tie-off bands, like that. And I think that makes a cuter mouth. I think I could have come down a little bit lower on this one, but even so, I think that looks much sweeter than the other way I'd done it. We need 2 eyes, so you can use bands for eyes if you choose to. Black bands, I would use 2 wrapped around, completely up to you if you want to do that. You could use buttons, and I think that looks quite cute as well if you don't have the toy eyes. If you have the safety toy eyes, fantastic, use those. I'm going to use the buttons. I have a metal threader that I like to use when I'm doing threading bands. It's made out of a twisty tie, and I have a video on how you can make one in my tips and tricks. Pop that through like that. I'm going to put my hook on the other side so I don't lose it. Turn it over and thread it back through the other one. Ooh, if I can. There we go. So that's my first eye. do my second eye. There's my metal threader. Pull it through. Make sure I don't lose that other end. You can hold it or put your hook through, it doesn't really matter. Thread the other side through. So to do the eyes, again, position where you want your eyes to be. And you might want really huge eyes, it's completely up to you. Again, I like to use a marker band so I can pick the other side. I think that's a bit low. Maybe about here. And let's see how I go. Holding one side, and take that out, poke my hook through, grab one, put my hook through the other side of the eye, pull it through, splay out, and pop the button through. As if you, and you don't want to stretch the band too much. Okay, and you can move these around, that's absolutely fine. And you can use bigger buttons. Let's take this one out and put this one through. Let's see if we're in the right spot or not. I think that looks all right. All right, so that's his head, her head, his head. If you want to add extra support here, just go through and put another band between the center and the ear. But I quite like the fact that they flop. I'm quite happy with that. All right, so the head is semi-done. We need to do the body. And what we're going to do first, hopefully you can see these little lines. You've got a line here, line here, line here. These are where we did the decreases, okay? So what we're going to do, we want these to be on those two lines, like that. And then the top paws, we're going to put on the front like this, all right? So let's stuff our paws just a little bit. You don't want them too stuffed. We'll do the back ones first. I told you this was a big project. Now I don't want to stuff them all the way to the top because I'm actually going to cinch these down as I sew them. Okay, so I want them mainly to be in the ball at the bottom and not in the neck part, okay? Push down a little bit more in this one. Try and get them the same. I think that's okay. I'm going to put this little bit of extra in my next front paw. Make sure that you've got enough that you can cinch this down to stitch. Okay, that's important. Okay. And that's good too. All right, now you can use invisible thread, and that's perfectly acceptable. If you have invisible thread, you can use invisible thread to sew these on. Otherwise, you can just use bands. Now I'm going to just tuck my little tie-off band here in, and I'm going to go through and pull a single band through like this, and I'm going to make sure that my tie-off band is inside. I'm not going to use that to tie off or to suture this in with. So making sure I go through, and I think you're going to end up with about 5 of these little anchor bands. I'll do one here as well. Like that. Working on this line, okay, this is the line that I'm working on. I'll move the other one out the way. So what I want to do, can you see that you've got that ridge there? That's what we're going to work on, and you don't want it to go on this top one here. All right, so I'm going to stick my hook through, grab the first loop, pull it through, grab the second, one over the other. I'm going to work back on that loop, on that ridge, grab the second band, try and pull it through. You have to hold the other side, pull through. I'm going to tuck it into that band that I already worked with, up and over. Here's my third one. I'm holding on to this side, go through the ridge, grab the end, pull it through and through the loop that you had, up and over. I've pulled one out, I'll put that back in a minute. Here's my ridge, go through a couple of bands on the ridge, grab the band, pull it through the loop on my hook, through there, up and over, through the ridge again. I need to come through here and pull that band that I lost through the loop, up and over. Try not to lose it, and I'm going to tie off with a single band and a slip knot tight, and I'm going to bring that through to the inside of my bunny body if I can. Is that it? I think so. There we go. So that's how I'm stitching this one on. Okay, let's do the same on this ridge here for this one. Tuck the end cap in, or whatever it's called. I think it's an end cap. And we've got 5. We're going to have 5 anchors. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've lost number 2. Come back here, you. No escaping, thank you, not today. Bet you saw how easy it was to fish it back through if you do lose one. And 5. Let's turn this around so that we're working on this ridge, and I'm going to work from this side this time because I'm right-handed. I want to make sure that I don't end up too close to there. So here's my ridge. I'm going to go through one part, grab my first band through and do like a little slip knot, then through the ridge again, grab the second band, which is here, and I'm going to hold on to the other side, pull it through that little band that was on my hook, do my slip knot, through the ridge again, grab one side, hold on to the other, pull it through the ridge and through the loop that was there, but is not now. Come back here. Alright, through the ridge, ridgy ditch, get that band back. There we go. Add it to the loop, one over the other. Through the ridge, grab the end of the band, pull it through and through. And here we go. Hold the end of the band, put it through and through the loop that was on my hook. Oh, and I want to tie off. It's just about to keep going, but there's nothing to keep going with. Pull it into a nice tight slip knot. Pull it inside the bunny's body. There we go. So this is how I've done the little legs. So for the little front paws, I'm going to have those facing this way. Alright, either side like this. Now again, we're going to use anchor bands. 1, 2. Now if you want, you can tie them like this to keep them safe. When I mean safe, I mean not unravelling. And 4, we're only doing 4 for this because they're smaller. Okay, so the way we're going to position these, this is our centre, so they're going either side here, and I'm going to try and go about halfway up. So if I get a band, I'm going to try and put them here and about here. I think that would be about right. So take my marker band off. I'm going to go through where I want it to be for the first one. Now, because I've already done them like this, I'm going to actually, it's coming undone. Stop coming undone. I'm going to start this side. I'm going to pull through, go to the next spot, pull that one through and link in, go to the next spot, pull the next one through and link in to the next spot, through and link in, and then with this one I'm just going to go grab a little piece on the actual foot and tie off in a slip knot and pull inside the body. So that's going to be the front paw. We'll do the same on this one. Try and again tuck the little tie off band inside. I think everybody would agree with you. Sewing the attachments on is the worst part of amigurumi. It really is. So again, position where you want it to be. We know that ours is going to go back here, so I'm going to poke my hook through. I'm going to take that marker band out. I'm going to grab my first one, if I can see it. Pull it through from my next spot, pull through and join from my next spot, pull through and join, find my next spot, pull through and join, and then I'm just going to attach this. I'm going to tie off like that. In a slip knot and back through my bunny's body, if I can. There we are. I'm going to do the tail after the fact, so this is how his little legs are going to be. I mean, you could do a crab like this, couldn't you? Just put little eyes here. Let's I'm going to stitch his head on after the fact, I think, because then we can see the positioning better. I think that'll look better. So let's stuff our little chap. Make sure we have our stitch marker out of the way. Now I want his body to be quite round and tubby. And his head is going to sit on here. So let's stitch him up. We're doing a single crochet and a decrease first. Our single crochet was on there, so we start with a decrease. And then a single. And a decrease. Single, oops, and a decrease, and a single, and a decrease. Single, and a decrease, oops, let's try not to get fluff in it. And take this stitch marker off, because from now on all we're doing is decreases. I'm going to try to just do decreases. Oops, there we go. Goodness gracious me. I seem to not be able to do decreases proficiently today. And we will tie off with a slip knot. And hide that inside the body of the bunny. And pull out a bunch of stuffing too. So this is our little bunny body. This is our little bunny head. We need a fluffy bunny tail too. So to do the tail, I'm going to use my loom again. Two, one, two, three. I'm going to do 5, 4, and 5. Take that off. Move these around. Do an increase in each. 1. Move your stitch marker to this. We don't want to lose this spot. 2, 3, 4. So this gives us 10 stitches. You're going to do single crochet for the next round. Move your stitch marker. I think one more round of single crochet. Now we're going to do decreases to take it back down to 5 stitches for the next round. So you're going to say single crochet in the first, move your stitch marker, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet. We're going to keep decreasing until we're left with just an area to do a tie-off band. So 1, if I can. Oh my goodness gracious. Now I'm not going to link these in, okay? I'm going to leave them as 2 bands either side. Working out where you want this little bunny rabbit tail to be, we're going to say about here, okay? I'm going to push my hook through and pull one side through, and I'm going to just splay that open and pop it over the tail, okay? The other side, I'm going to find the opposite side where I want it to be, like that. Pull it through the other side, make sure I've got it even. Pull it through the other side as well, like that. Splay it open and pop over. If you want to give it a bit more oomph, you can put a tiny bit of stuffing in. I don't really think it's necessary. You can just sort of squidge it down like that. Alright, so that's his little tail. And now all we have to do is the worst bit, attach his head. So I've been trying to think of different ways that we can actually attach things like heads to bodies and stuff without having to do all the sewing, especially if you don't have invisible thread. And I've come up with a way where we can use a couple of buttons. The bigger the better, I guess. I'm using white buttons because I'm using white bands and I want them to be hidden under the bands. So what we're going to do, first of all, you need to make yourself a threader of some sort. I will link the tutorial on how to make a metal threader with a twisty tie to the information card on this video. Alright, but have a threader handy, it's handy. Put your band through your threader, okay, and through your first button, and it doesn't matter which side you go, you're going to pull through like so. Put your hook one side so that you don't pull that band all the way through, and then I'm going to go to the diagonal and with that same threader pull the band through like this, so I have both ends coming out, and a huge piece of fluff as well. So I have both ends coming out like so, okay, as if we were going to do like use a button for an eye. So I have both ends coming out like this. I'm going to put our 2 bands together. Take a coloured band so that you can see it clearly. Tie a slip knot, not a too tight one, alright, not too tight. Alright, with this little button, what we're going to do is position where we want it to be on the head, and I'm saying this centre seam here at the back, alright, about halfway. I'm going to pop my button through a couple of the bands here, and thankfully the buttons are stretchy, so you can just pop your button through like so, so that the button is in there. Alright, now my yellow band is hanging on to the 2 little sides of thread that I have here. I'm actually going to undo that yellow band. I'm going to have one side, I'm going to put them both on my hook. I'm going to use my stitch marker to hold one side, and then I'm going to go the other side, take off my hook, okay, and the other side of the ridge I'm going to draw back that other band like that, so I have one either side of the ridge. Okay, now what I'm going to do is put my stitch marker through. I'll put it through the one that I have on my hook, okay, so that I have that secure on my hook like this, and I'm going to go through the next button. So pick a hole in the button like that, and I'm going to put my hook through so that it doesn't go anywhere. Take my stitch marker out. I'm going to grab my stitch marker, my threader, go to my stitch marker and put my threader through that next band. Alright, and again I'm going to go through the opposite on the diagonal here, underside going to the top side like that, pull it through, make sure I have it on my hook before I take my threader off. There we go. So I have both loops. I have one button under all of these bands, one button on top. I'm going to take my top, the band that's closest to me, up and over. I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to go around this button like this with it, so that it's sort of captured the whole button. We still have a tiny bit there that it doesn't go over, but that's fine. It's going to sit like that. All right. This button we're going to attach to our bunny. All right. So again, position in between the legs where you want this button to be. All right. Hold on to it. Thankfully, again, it's stretchy. And pick your spot. Perhaps I'll go through there where there's a bigger hole. It's a little bit fiddly, but hold your button, squeeze the body if you can, and thread it through. There we go. Pop him in, make sure he's tucked under. And that is how you can attach a head. And yes, it's going to be a bit of a flopsy bunny, especially if it's a smaller button, but then you don't actually have to do any of the stitching. And you can just leave him sitting there with his little head on a button. And it means you can turn his head as well. That's the other thing. Now, if you do want to stitch it, that's absolutely fine. You can do some anchor stitches as well. But if you're happy with your little head just hopping around like that, there you go. There is your bunny. And it saves a lot of time and effort without having to do all that stitching around his neck. So it's up to you. If you want to do, you could do, if you wanted to, just do another band here and go through the top here of his chin to anchor it, if you did want to make it so that it didn't move around and it wasn't so wobbly. But that's completely up to you. I quite like him being a bit of a flopsy bunny. Now we need to make his carrot. That will be another video. Hope you enjoy. Happy Easter.